Blueface's release from prison was supposed to be a new chapter, a chance for redemption, maybe even a glimmer of hope for the chaos that perpetually surrounds him. Instead, it was a starting gun for a whole new level of dysfunction. The ink wasn't even dry on his release papers before the drama started brewing, a toxic cocktail of bruised egos, broken promises, and escalating violence. And at the center of it all, as always, are the women in his life, Chrisean Rock, Jaden, and now Angela. Let's rewind for a second. Blueface does his time, right? While he's locked up, Angela holds it down. Visits, commissary, the whole 9 yards. She's seemingly the ride or die chick, the one who's supposed to be there when the world turns its back. But the second Blueface walks free, he dumps her. On live stream, no less. The disrespect is palpable, the audacity breathtaking. He claims she pisses him off, that her presence is unbearable. Imagine the sting of that betrayal, the public humiliation after sacrificing so much. But Angela isn't the only one reeling. Chraisean Rock, ever the volatile force of nature, is back in the picture, and she's not happy. She unleashes a torrent of accusations, a raw and unfiltered expose of Blueface's alleged abuse. Bruises, stomping, emotional manipulation, she lays it all bare, painting a disturbing picture of a man who preaches loyalty but practices cruelty. She even brings up their son, Junior, claiming Blueface disowned him and exploited him for clout. The accusations are heavy, the emotions raw. Chrisean goes live, a whirlwind of tears and rage. She's screaming, cursing Blueface, even hinting at the kind of retribution that sent her ex Ronnie to an early grave. Remember that whole paternity drama, the whispers and rumors that followed Ronnie's death? It's a dark cloud hanging over this entire saga, a chilling reminder of the stakes involved. And then there's Jaden, the mother of Blueface's other children. She's caught in the crossfire, accused of abandoning Blueface in prison, of only being interested in his money. But Jaden fires back with receipts, proving she sent packages, paid court fees, and provided financial support throughout his incarceration. It's a messy he said, she said battle playing out on social media, each woman vying for the moral high ground in a situation where everyone seems to be sinking lower and lower. Adding fuel to the fire is Croak, who apparently jumped Angela. Allegedly, Croak feels like Angela is the reason Blueface disrespected her and put hands on her. A twisted logic, blaming the victim for the abuser's actions. It's a classic case of misplaced anger, a symptom of the deep-seated toxicity that permeates this entire situation. Blueface, meanwhile, seems to be enjoying the chaos, basking in the attention, playing the victim card while simultaneously fueling the flame. He's a master manipulator, a puppet master pulling the strings of these women's lives, watching them tear each other apart while he sits back and observes. It's a disturbing spectacle, a real-life soap opera playing out in real time, with real consequences. The internet, of course, is having a field day. Memes are being made, opinions are being voiced, and everyone has a theory about who's right, who's wrong, and who's the biggest villain in this twisted tale. But behind the entertainment value, there's a real tragedy unfolding. These are real people with real emotions caught in a cycle of abuse, betrayal, and public humiliation. And at the heart of it all is a man who seems incapable of taking responsibility for his actions, a man who thrives on chaos and conflict. The layers of dysfunction keep peeling back, each revelation more shocking than the last. Chrisean's rant about Blueface forcing her to bark on livestream is a new low even for this crew. The sheer humiliation of it all, the blatant power dynamic on display, it's sickening. It's a stark reminder of the control he wields, the lengths he'll go to demean and degrade those around him. This isn't just messy, it's deeply disturbing. And then there's Carissa, Blueface's mom, caught in the middle of this swirling vortex of drama. Jaden accuses her of using the kids as leverage, demanding money from Blueface just days after his release. Carissa, predictably, denies it, but the damage is done. The image of a grandmother exploiting her own grandchildren for financial gain is a particularly ugly one, adding another layer of complication to an already convoluted situation. It also speaks to a larger issue, the cycle of poverty and desperation that seems to plague so many of these individuals. Lou gets involved, adding another log to the dumpster fire. He accuses both Chrisean and Jaden of abandoning him during his own stint in jail, claiming they'll never have a chance with him again. It's a classic case of projecting, deflecting blame instead of taking responsibility for his own actions. And it highlights the toxic mentality that permeates this entire group. A lack of loyalty, a thirst for revenge, and a complete disregard for the consequences of their actions. The underlying theme here is abandonment. Each of these women feels betrayed, left to fend for themselves while Blueface serves his time. They all claim to have sacrificed something, to have suffered in his absence. And now, upon his return, they're all vying for his attention, seeking validation, and demanding recompense for their perceived wrong. It's a recipe for disaster, a pressure cooker of resentment and jealousy that's bound to explode. But amidst all the chaos and accusations, there's a child at the center of it all, Junior. The internet rightfully worries about him. He's a pawn in this twisted game, a victim of his parents' dysfunction. He's being exposed to violence, instability, and a level of public scrutiny that no child should ever have to endure. Chrisean might be arguing on Twitter, but she should be enrolling that boy in therapy. He needs help, stability, and a safe environment to process the trauma he's undoubtedly experiencing. The question of whether Angela is to blame for Blueface's treatment of Chrisean is a ridiculous one. Angela is not responsible for Blueface's actions. He is the one who made the choices, the one who inflicted the pain. To blame Angela is to absolve Blueface of his responsibility, to perpetuate the cycle of victim blaming that's so prevalent in cases of domestic abuse. Ultimately, this isn't just about Blueface and his baby mamas. It's about a culture of violence, exploitation, and disrespect. It's about the objectification of women, the glorification of toxic masculinity, and the normalization of abuse. It's a reflection of a society that values drama over substance, that rewards bad behavior, and that often fails to protect the most vulnerable among us. It's a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the damage that can be inflicted when individuals are allowed to operate without accountability, when consequences are ignored, and when the pursuit of fame and fortune trumps all else. The audience is left to dissect the wreckage, to piece together the puzzle of shattered lives and broken promises. They're scrolling through timelines, dissecting cryptic tweets, and offering their unsolicited opinions on a situation they only see through the distorted lens of social media. The comment sections are a battleground, a digital coliseum where fans and haters alike hurl insults and accusations, fueled by gossip and speculation. But what about the real people behind the headline? What about the emotional toll of this constant barrage of negativity? How do they navigate the complexities of their relationships, their careers, and their mental health when every move they make is scrutinized and judged by millions of strangers? It's a pressure cooker, a relentless cycle of drama and trauma that's bound to take its toll. The silence from Angela is deafening. After the initial dumping, she retreats, leaving the internet to fill the void with theories and assumptions. Is she heartbroken, angry, planning her revenge? Or is she simply trying to salvage what's left of her dignity and move on with her life? We can only speculate, but one thing is clear. She deserves better than to be treated as a disposable pawn in Blueface's twisted game. And what of Blueface himself? He seems to be thriving in the chaos, reveling in the attention, even as his reputation continues to plummet. He's a walking contradiction, preaching loyalty while betraying those closest to him, demanding respect while disrespecting everyone around him. He's a cautionary tale of what happens when ego and entitlement are allowed to run rampant, when fame and fortune are prioritized over basic human decency. The cycle continues, each new scandal overshadowing the last, each new betrayal adding another layer of complexity to this already convoluted saga. The victims are left to pick up the pieces, to rebuild their lives in the aftermath of Blueface's destructive way. They're forced to navigate the treacherous waters of social media, to defend themselves against accusations and insults, to try and maintain some semblance of normalcy in a world that seems determined to tear them apart. The responsibility falls on us, the audience, to demand better, to stop glorifying toxic behavior, to stop rewarding individuals who perpetuate violence and disrespect, and to start holding them accountable for their actions. We need to recognize that these are real people with real emotions, and that our words and actions have real consequences. It's time to break the cycle, to challenge the narrative, and to create a culture that values empathy, respect, and accountability. It's time to stop enabling the Bluefaces of the world and to start supporting the victims, the survivors, and the individuals who are working to create a better future. The circus might be entertaining, but it's also deeply damaging, and it's time to shut it down for good. The saga is far from over. New chapters are being written every day, new characters are being introduced, and new alliances are being formed. But one thing remains constant: the need for change, the need for healing, and the need for a world where individuals are treated with dignity and respect. The spotlight is on Blueface and his crew, but the real story is about the larger issues at play: abuse, exploitation, and the destructive power of fame. And it's a story that we all need to pay attention to because it's a reflection of our society, our values, and our collective responsibility to create a better world.